OpenAI recently rolled out GPT-Live and, combined with ChatGPT Work, begins to feel like having a real assistant. Here's what I mean. Hi, what do we have going on tomorrow morning?
Checking your morning now. At 10 a.m., you're meeting Caroline Reed, the COO of Apex Dental Group.
What do I need to know before a meeting with her?
She reached out yesterday about outfitting 3 new dental offices. Apex is in HubSpot as a qualified prospect, and the estimated deal value is about $42,000.
Anything else I should know?
There's a document in Drive called Apex Dental Proposal with preliminary pricing. And she'd mentioned before they're hoping to decide by September 1st. So tomorrow's meeting could be pretty pivotal.
Now that's the kind of thing we're talking about. Voice mode can now be used with your apps, making it a lot more useful. But the way OpenAI has rolled it out, it's a bit confusing. So today I'm going to take you through it. I'm Bill Eastman, and this is the AI for Your Business channel. I explain how to use AI and automation tools for non-technical business people. Please subscribe to follow along. So I'm going to begin today with a brief overview of ChatGPT Work because it's essential for unlocking voice mode's capabilities. Then I'm going to review how this version of voice mode differs from previous versions. And next I'll go on to show you how to get it set up and finish with some demos and tips. Let's get started. ChatGPT Work rolled out on July 9th, and it's intended to be a more user-friendly version of OpenAI's Codex tool. In ChatGPT.com, you now have tabs at the top for chat and work. If you're in chat, then it looks the same as before. But if you go into work, you see some new things. That's because work is focused on doing things for you and carrying out projects. So you'd use chat for activities that you're accustomed to, like researching, writing, and discussing, and you use work when you want ChatGPT to use your business tools and create things. That's why there's an icon under the text box to choose a project or create a new one. The work you do should be kept in projects, if for no other reason than to keep things organized. Just click on the icon to create or choose a project. To the right of that are plugins, and those are what make work so powerful. Plugins allow you to work with your apps like Gmail and HubSpot right from within ChatGPT. You can use natural language to use your apps, so no more trying to figure out menus and tabs. I'm going to show you how to install plugins, and we'll see some plugins in use later. To install a plugin, you just click on the plugins link on the left menu bar to open the plugins page. It lists a number of well-known apps like Gmail, Slack, Google Calendar, Canva, and so on. If you don't see your favorite app listed, then go to the search bar and type it in. For instance, let's try Zoho. To connect to an app, you'll need to have already subscribed to that app. When you click on the app in this list, the login screen will pop up. Here's an example using Zoom. Just log in normally and you'll be connected. The apps you've installed will be displayed at the top of the screen. Once you've installed the plugin for an app, you can begin using the app from within ChatGPT using natural language. An app can be invoked in ChatGPT in several ways. First, just mention what you're doing in ChatGPT, and it's smart enough to use that plugin. For instance, check my contacts for John Smith. And that will naturally lead ChatGPT to look for your HubSpot plugin. Second, if it's a little unclear whether the prompt will invoke the plugin, just mention it in your prompt. For example, find the Johnson sales template in my Google Drive. And third, you can just click on the plugins menu beneath the text box and select a plugin. Let's try Canva here. With plugins, you can begin to use ChatGPT like an assistant, but to fully bring this to life, you need the ChatGPT desktop app. The ChatGPT desktop app looks very similar to the browser version, but it offers additional functionality such as working with files on your laptop and having more conversational capabilities. To download the desktop app, just Google ChatGPT Desktop and then choose Download ChatGPT. That brings you to the download page where you follow the usual procedures. Once you've downloaded it, you can open it by entering ChatGPT in your search bar. Now that we have our foundation down, we're going to move on to voice mode. We're going to begin with a little history lesson to show what's changed in the last month. Many of you have probably used the original microphone, which allows you to dictate your prompts. 2 years ago, OpenAI released advanced voice mode, which allows you to converse with ChatGPT in a turn-based manner. That is, you said your thing, ChatGPT responded, you said your next thing, and so on. It could search the web to generate its responses, but it was kind of mediocre at that. Then, on July 8th, OpenAI rolled out GPT-Live. Instead of turn-based conversations, you could interrupt it and interact a lot more like you do with a person. Its ability to use the internet also improved considerably. However, you couldn't access your plugins with it. When ChatGPT Work and the updated desktop app rolled out on July 9th, they originally had no voice capability. But then on July 22nd, GPT-Live came to the desktop app and allowed you to access your plugins. Now, I know this is a little confusing, so let's look at them side by side. We'll begin in the browser version of ChatGPT and use chat mode. Let's click on the voice mode icon. When the blue orb appears, you can begin talking. Hi, can you check my emails for today?
Let me check. I can if you've connected your inbox, but I don't have access to any email here. If you wire up Gmail or Outlook, I'm happy to check and give you a quick summary of today's mail.
So you see, you can converse with ChatGPT in the browser in chat mode, but it can't see your apps. Despite what it said there's no hooking it up. You can't connect when you're in the browser. And if we move over to the work mode, then the voice mode icon doesn't even appear. Since work is meant for working with your apps and voice mode can't access plugins in the browser, you're not going to get the voice mode icon. So let's move over to the ChatGPT desktop app in chat mode. Hi, what's the fourth message in the primary tab of my inbox today?
Looking at your inbox now. Okay. The fourth message is from Sean Conroy. Alert, Compton is 81% full in production.
So we see that voice mode can access your plugins when you're using the desktop app, even when you're in chat mode. And when you switch over to work mode, the voice icon does appear. So that's opposed to what you see when you're in work mode in the browser. So you have full capabilities for your plugins with voice mode on the desktop app. Of course, voice mode is going to be very useful when you're driving between meetings and the like. Out of the box, the ChatGPT phone app has the same capabilities as your browser. That is, chat mode can search the web but can't access plugins, and work mode doesn't have a voice icon. However, if you click on the two bars in the upper left corner to open the menu, you'll see a link called Remote. Setting up remote access to your desktop app will allow you to work with your plugins and laptop folders just as if you were on your laptop. To set up remote, click on your username in the lower left corner of the desktop app screen. Select Settings, and in the next page pick Connections from the left menu. Then choose Control Your PC and choose Setup. I've already done that, so you can see the device I set up, but if I clicked Add, it'll show the same thing as if you click Setup. Capture the QR code and then do the normal authentication. At that point, you should see your device OS in the desktop app and back on your phone app, a green dot next to Remote. If you click on Remote, it essentially brings up your laptop work mode screen. Now the screen shows a voice icon, and if you click on it, you get the familiar blue orb. Talk with it as if you were on your laptop. To use Remote, you'll have to have the ChatGPT desktop app open, and your laptop must be awake. There's a few wrinkles to that, which I'll go over in the show notes. Let's see voice mode in action. Take these demos and run with them. Give GPT-Live your own task and have fun seeing what it can do for you. But remember that the same prompting guidelines that you use when typing in prompts apply to voice mode as well. That is, be clear in your directions just like you were talking to a new employee. Don't assume ChatGPT is going to correctly interpret vague instructions. And ask if it has any questions for you before getting underway. That'll make sure things don't go off track. Now, for these demos, for the sake of time, we're going to be a little more relaxed, but keep these guidelines in mind when you're back at your own computer. Our first demo shows GPT-Live accessing Google Drive and using that info to create a social media post in Canva. Can you find the document in my Google Drive called Retirement Planning Seminar?
One sec, checking. Yep, I found it. I can see the event details, audience, and topics. What kind of social media graphic do you want to make?
Great. Can you use that to help me create a social media graphic promoting the event?
Sure, what's the platform?
Let's create a LinkedIn post.
Cool. For LinkedIn, I'd go with a clean square graphic with the event title front and center, date and time right below, Laura Mitchell featured as the presenter, plus a simple, clear register now call to action. Professional, but still approachable for small business owners.
That sounds good, but make it a bit less formal. I want something that'll catch the eye of a small business owner who's scrolling through LinkedIn.
Got it. So I'll make it feel more friendly and modern, a little more scroll stopping, still polished enough for financial services.
Okay.
Sounds good. Just say the word. Okay.
Yeah, good. Go ahead and create it in Canva.
Okay, starting that now. Perfect. I'll create it in Canva with that friendlier, more eye-catching feel, clean layout, strong title and date, and the clear register now call to action. On it.
And it takes a few minutes to run, so we'll pause and come back to it. Our second demo is for you road warriors. You're out and about, so you're going to use your phone app to connect to your calendar, your Google Drive, your Gmail, and your HubSpot to prep for a meeting. I think I have a meeting with Marcus Bennett at 2. Can you confirm that?
Let me check real quick. Yep, tomorrow at 2, you've got the Bennett Custom Homes marketing meeting with Marcus Bennett.
Can you remind me what we've been discussing?
Checking. Sure. Marcus owns Bennett Custom Homes, a higher-end residential builder up in the North Atlanta suburbs. He's been talking about improving their marketing and lead gen.
Has he sent me anything recently?
Checking. Yeah, 2 days ago. He wants to talk about generating more leads from the site and social, using AI for more consistent content and better follow-up for prospects who don't book right away. Plus, he mentioned a new salesperson starting next month.
Okay. Do we have anything in Drive about his business?
Checking for that. Yep, there's a Bennett Custom Homes marketing review. The big things are that they rely heavily on referrals, content is pretty inconsistent, follow-up is manual, and there's no regular email nurture. And also points out they've got a ton of project photos that could feed social. And there's a separate AI marketing ideas doc with some starter concepts.
Okay, based on all that, what do you think we should focus on in the meeting?
Checking. And okay, I think the key is connecting the dots. With that new salesperson starting next month, that's your natural deadline. If you ramp up marketing without fixing follow-up, more prospects might just slip through. I focus on a simple, full system, steady content, better capture, and an automated follow-up that all feeds that new hire. That hits his email, addresses the gaps in the review, and sets up the new salesperson for a strong start.
Okay, I'm going to cut it off here for time, but you get the idea. You could even ask it to give you a 30-second briefing when you're down in the parking lot getting ready to go in. So think of all the different things that you could do with the phone for your business. I hope these demos have sparked your imagination on what you can do with voice mode. I'm going to end with a few more tips on how to get the most out of it. First, GPT Live is available even when you navigate to other screens. However, it can't see those screens. Let's take a look. Hey, I'm going to ask you for some help using Excel.
Sure thing. Tell me what you're trying to do, and we'll work through it together.
I'll turn off my mic for a moment to keep GPT Live from hearing what I'm saying, and I'm going to switch over to Excel. Notice how the GPT Live orb stays active. Can you tell me what you see on this sheet?
Let me take a look. Sure. I'll check the sheet and summarize it for you. I can help, but I don't have access to the open Excel sheet in this chat yet. If you share a screenshot or select the sheet through the ChatGPT app.
So we see how GPT Live is limited in seeing your screen. However, if you install the Chrome plugin and the Chrome extension, then it can see apps you have open in Chrome and can guide you on how to use them. To do that, let's go into Plugins and find the Chrome app. Now you see I've already installed it, but there should be a plus sign out there for you. Click on that and then just follow the steps. To install the ChatGPT Chrome extension, just Google ChatGPT Chrome extension. Then click on ChatGPT Chrome Web Store and follow the normal installation instructions. And once you've installed it, you'll see the ChatGPT icon here in the upper right. If you click on it, you'll open a chat window, but you'll also have the option to review web pages with GPT Live. Let's give it a try. Hey, we're going to dive into some financial analysis.
Sounds good. What are we looking at?
Can you see this Chrome tab I'm in?
Let me check that quickly. Yep, I see it. You're on the New York Fed's Liberty Street economic site.
Great. What are the top 3 articles at the top of the page?
Let me take a look at those. I'm scanning the top of the page now. The top 3 listed are: does the equity term structure respond to monetary policy shocks? How distressed are consumers? Reconciling diverging credit card delinquency measures, and stripping strips trading activity.
Great. Give me your thoughts on the arguments in the first article. Don't regurgitate it, but let me know what you think.
Sure, I'll review it quickly. The most convincing point is that a surprise rate cut can actually be bad news for stocks because it signals the Fed sees weakness ahead. That challenges the cuts are bullish story in a smart way. Still, some of their evidence feels more suggestive than decisive, and it's hard to fully separate policy moves from the information they reveal. Overall, I buy the intuition, but I'd be cautious about strong trading conclusions based on this alone.
Okay, I think you'll find a lot of uses for screen sharing, especially for troubleshooting. All right, let's wrap up. As I mentioned above, good context is just as important with voice mode as it is when you're using the prompt text box. But it's a little awkward to try to include a lot of context and detailed instructions when you're talking. But there are a few ways to provide context and directions beforehand. One is to work from within a project and put directions in the project instructions. So you go up here, pick project settings, and then put your directions here. Another is to provide context documents in the project, like you see here. When you're speaking with GPT Live, it'll be able to reference those documents. And a third approach is to create skills, which are universally applicable directions for ChatGPT to respond how you'd like. Skills are increasingly important with voice mode. Thousands of skills have already been created to handle various tasks, and you can create your own to fully personalize how ChatGPT handles your tasks. Next episode, I'll go into skills and plugins in more depth. So, please subscribe to not miss these and other ways to optimize your use of AI. And if you've gotten some value today, please leave a like. Till next time, good luck with your business.